Hi Taurus, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your middle to end of May 2022 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the algorithm and really helps this channel, so thank you all so much. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This meditation and cleanse will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Actually, let's start with the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. So we have the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is a very good card to be mindful of, Taurus. This is a feeling of lack. The Five of Pentacles for me is a poverty mentality. It is a sense of I don't get to be with everybody else in the prosperous kind of bountiful way of the world. I have to be on the outside. And so during this time, that's how we're feeling. We're also feeling like we're watching something or like we're looking at something that's rather tragic. And it can be that we're looking at our own lives. It can be that we're looking at somebody else and we're just seeing like a self-destructive mode coming on. We need to be aware of that. We're going to go into fix mode. And sometimes we need to step back and say, okay, what's happening here? Why am I seeing this? Why am I reacting this way? Because Spirit is just showing me that it can't be fixed. It needs to be healed. So I'm just seeing Humpty Dumpty. And I know that's such an odd imagery to come forward. But Humpty Dumpty for me is, it can't be fixed. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. It can't be fixed but force. They didn't call in the healers. They didn't call in the doctors. They didn't call in the people who could fix it. So this is going to be a time where healing is needed and where, an understanding and compassion is needed. And yet we're going to want to kind of come at things with I'm fixing the problem, get things done, or somebody's coming in with that mentality and we really need a gentler heart approach. So just be aware of that. Let's look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Peace, the crown chakra. That's what we need to be crowned with during this time. This sense of peace, this sense of I am embracing myself and what I want and what I need, but crowning ourselves, visualizing ourselves, putting on a crown and saying, this is my peace. This is what I'm crowning myself with. This is the beauty of my life for myself as I move forward in this existence. There's a sense of chaos around us. And what we need is peace and calm and beauty. And that's going to be something that we're very drawn to during this time, but we also feel very encumbered by. We feel like, oh my gosh, if I embrace this peace or if I do this, it's going to be laughed at or seen as silly or, I have to kind of be tougher type of thing. And Spirit saying, no, embrace the peace. Embrace the peace because it's going to be your greatest ally. Now let's look at what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Okay, so we're going to use this right here. And we're just doing a Celtic cross. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. So we're going to turn everything over at once. Goodness, there we go. Okay. So where we are right now is the Emperor. Now this is embracing Aries energy. So if we have Aries in our chart, that's going to come out quite powerfully during this time. This is also... Oh, that's very interesting. I'm seeing very strong father vibes. So very strong father energy. It can be that we are becoming a father, or that we are a father, or that our fathers are playing a huge role in our lives, whether they're past or whether they're still with us. That energy is coming up very, very strongly. There's also a sense of, I'm just getting a problem solver, like somebody who really loves puzzles. I don't know if somebody's like listening to this while doing a puzzle, or if you're just really drawn to puzzles. You kind of are looking at the world right now as a puzzle that needs to be solved. And what Spirit is saying here is that that's great and that's going to be super helpful, but there also needs to be the emotion behind it that needs to come into play. And so we need to embrace that heart, and we're just going to find it a little bit difficult, a little bit challenging during this time, because we're also looking at the way that we're claiming the throne, the way that we're claiming our power. And there's just a sense of, if I embrace the softness, it will be seen as weakness. To some people it will be, but we also need to embrace that softness. Maybe not at the workplace, or maybe not all the time, because for some reason Spirit is showing me like it's kind of impossible. But we need to embrace that softness for ourselves, that kindness and compassion for ourselves in our homes when the rest of the world is quieted out. So just really embracing that is going to be a game changer for us, because it's like, to the rest of the world, we have to be seen as strong, but in our sanctum, our inner circle, it's like we're that big teddy bear, and that's a really nice energy. And that's actually an energy that we feel very, very comfortable with here, Taurus. Then we move to our challenges, and the challenges is the Hermit. This is Virgo energy. Our challenge is turning inward. Our challenge is, it's funny because I just see like everything organized, like everything lined up in a row, and somebody moves it out and we immediately have to move it back into place. That's going to be our challenge, is that like some things can be askew. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's going to be something that's really quite beneficial for us to realize during this time. But there's also an energy around us where like this is being tested. Like somebody is pushing our envelope, pushing our buttons, where we could be dealing with a really messy person and we want to be really neat and orderly. And so just acknowledging that challenge right now is going to be, it's a growth thing for us, because I'm just hearing laughter. It's kind of like Spirit is thinking this is really funny because you're growing and the other person is growing and you're both kind of pushing each other's buttons. So being aware of that is going to be a really great thing, because it's just a bit of a joke that's going on. They're like, oh, you're going to grow, but they're having like a really fun time watching this kind of exchange. So an acknowledgement of that is needed here. There is also the sense here of like, if I turn in, I'm going to see something that I don't want to see. So that's so funny, because it got so serious so fast, where it's like, if I turn inward, if I quiet down and let myself be who I truly am, I'm going to see something that I don't want to see. Like I'm going to have to face something that I don't want to face right now. So an acknowledgement of that is going to be really important, because we have to face it. We have to look at it. Our focus is the Wheel of Fortune. Our focus is in change. And that's what we really want. That's really what we're moving towards. We're moving towards a beautiful change, a beautiful sense of like, I'm opening up this door. I'm moving to where I want to be. I'm, going after what I want for me. So we're opening up to this change, and we're seeing this change as something that's imperative to who we are. We're also walking into a new season. So as much as this change is imperative to who we are, there's almost a begrudging, like, I've had to accept this. I had to, I had to face this type of energy. So acknowledging that is also going to be very important here, where there's a big change that's coming in. We're more than ready for it. But there's also a sense of, I really like things the way they were, which actually moves us to our past, which makes perfect sense because we have the Six of Wands here. We're kind of celebrating the past very, very profoundly during this time. It was a sense of like, we're looking at things that were like easier. It could be our childhood where we got to be fun and carefree, or teenage years, or wherever, where it was just like, there wasn't as much responsibility. We're also learning how to celebrate our past. There is somebody who's listening who you have a really rocky relationship with your past. You know, things happened in ways that you didn't kind of want them to, or you hadn't anticipated. Things were taken out of our control. And now it is a time to celebrate our past and everything that we've been through, which is going to be a challenge. But it's also like, this is my story and this is my history. If I can't celebrate my history and myself, then I can't celebrate my present. And that's going to be a really big thing for us during this time here, Taurus. Now we're moving towards our strength. Our strength is the King of Swords. Now we can have somebody around us, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, that is really kind of like our cheerleader, our go-getter. This person can be a little bit too blunt at times, a little bit too logical. So just be aware of that. Or they can kind of fall into their own head, their own daydreams very, very easily. This person is a dreamer. This person is a seer, an innovator. We are also going to be that dreamer, that seer, that innovator, but in a little bit of a more subtle way. So this person who I see in our lives is just like, they scream it. It's kind of like they're neon and glowing with it. We're going to be more subdued, maybe more pastel colors is what I'm seeing. With this energy, there is a sense of, I need to speak the truth. I need to know what it is that I want. But we also have to be very mindful of who we speak this truth to. The choosing of our words is going to be very important during this time, and very, it's either going to make us or break us, depending on what we say and how we say it. There is a cutting through of negativity. There is a cutting through and an owning of everything that we've been through. So there is a sense here of like, okay, I fought for this and I needed this. Coming also forward. There is a rebirth with that. But there's also a sense of, as I move towards what I need, things that were hidden are coming to the light. Now it brings us to our near future, which is the Nine of Swords. We're going to overthink and overanalyze. As much as we're embracing our strength of speaking the truth, we're also looking at things and saying, what if I misspoke? What if people take me the wrong way? And it's the what ifs, and it's the how comes, and it's the chaos, and it's the being overwhelmed. That's just going to really kind of hold us back. And our near future is a sense of, I'm worrying. I'm taking things too seriously. There's also a ladder here with the swords where a person can kind of walk out of their worry, but it is going to be painful. I see us embracing, or not so much embracing, but facing a lot of the hurts that have held us back, a lot of the worries, the doubts, the fears, the chaos, the overwhelmingness. And it's going to be a painful thing because it's kind of like, I'd rather just sweep it under the rug, but we're feeling it somewhere, mainly in our stomachs, but it can also be like in our knees and in our ankles, just like the way that we move forward, a way of moving us forward and not kind of keeping us in one spot. We're going to feel this energy kind of coming forward, and it needs to be addressed. The worry, the fear, the doubt, the chaos. It really does, because as it is addressed, it's like, okay, this is what I needed to see. And this is what I'm worrying about. This is what's keeping me up at night. There's also a sense of busy work. Like, we're going to fill our time with busy work just so that we don't have to see ourselves. And that's going to be, or see what's really upsetting us. And that's going to be something that we need to look at. We really do need to look at us much more closely. It then leads us to our suggested approach. And our suggested approach to this time is kind of taking time out, stepping back. With the Nine of Wands, we're looking at everything that's expected, right? We're looking at the battles that we have faced. We're looking at the people that we have interacted with. And we just need to kind of step into ourselves and say, I fought this battle. Like, I've been through this war, and I've come out of it, the other side. And now it's, where do I want to be? we're also going to have a tendency to really listen to everybody else, which makes it really hard to hear ourselves because everybody's voice is getting louder and louder. There's also a sense that even if people aren't, criticizing us or talking to us, something from the past is coming forward and we're like, well, maybe I should have done this differently and maybe I should have done that differently. We need to stop that because we can fill our whole lives with the shouldas, the couldas, and the wouldas. It's not going to help us. It's not going to lead us forward. So we need to abandon it. We then look at what we need to know, and that's the Two of Wands. We need to know the door is opening. We also need to know we hold the world. How we're choosing to move forward in that world or open up to that world, that's on us. And we need to be aware of that. There is also a sense here of I need to move forward towards me, towards what I love, towards what I want, towards what I need. But it's like, I almost see it like we've kind of closed the door on the world and been like, no, I'm not looking at that or I'm not seeing that. And it doesn't mean that we have to dive into everything that causes anxiety and depression and fear and us to be overwhelmed. But we need to open up the door. I'm just seeing like air out the house. It needs to be aired out. And we need to step into the sunlight. It then leads us to our hopes and our fears. And what's so interesting, knights protect kings and queens. Our hope and our fears, the Knight of Swords, being able to move forward. It can't even be that this person around us who is this air sign energy, they start to kind of move out more or, tackle things for us or for themselves. And that causes us worry or apprehension. There is also this sense of I need to go after what I dream of. I need to go after what I want. Talk is fantastic, but now I need to back it up with actions. With the Knight of Swords, there's a fear of cutting through doubts and fears and negativity. There's a fear of taking action, but there's the hope of I'm taking action. I'm the hero of my story. I'm going after what I need, what I want, who I am, what I'm looking towards and for. And it brings us to our potential future. Our potential future is the Page of Cups. It's getting inspiration from the most unlikely of places. It is a sense of opening up our hearts and opening up what we love and looking at things in a different way and really saying, is this where I need to be? Is this what I want? Also, an open communication with our hearts. Taurus, people always think we're so tough. And we can be. We can put on that tough facade. But that's why we need to embrace the teddy bear because we're really soft and gentle on the inside. And that needs to be seen. Because as we're going after what we want and as we're, conquering, we need to also give voice to what our heart needs and be a student of emotionally, where do I need to be and what resonates with me and what's leading me forward and, what do I want in my life and what are my dreams and my aspirations. Some of us have put our dreams on hold and it's like, okay, but why? But why? Because now it is time to let those dreams come forward. Now, let's look at the tarot just a bit more. We're going to look at our past and our present and our future. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. So for our past, we have two cards that came up. We have our past, we have our present, we have our future. And our past right here, so interesting, the Five of Wands and the Eight of Cups. Our present is the Page of Inspiration, the Page of Wands. And then our future is the King of Wands. So I love that we go from being a student right here, right now, to being that king, to being that ruler. So in our past, we've had an ending. It's been traumatic, okay? And what's happened from this ending is that we've learned that we have to fight. The end with the Eight of Cups is a walking away from something we once thought we would love. And we once thought we would love it. It could be a relationship. It could have been, a job. It could have been, a myriad of things. Now that cycle has ended. We're also walking on our own for like the first time. And there's a real sense of, I need to walk this path. I need to know this. So there's a loneliness that is around us that has to be acknowledged. And as we're acknowledging it, it moves us to the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands, we have two Five of Wands in this deck. One is little kids, and, it's like play that has gotten out of hand. Here it is the adults. So it's not play that has gotten out of hand, it's I'm going to fight. I have this fighting energy in me. And what has happened is that our life has become a battle. It has become a battle, and we need to acknowledge that. We need to acknowledge that we have been fighting for so long that it's second nature. And that's also something that we're walking away from, because it's become so comfortable to us that we're going to immediately be drawn to it. And it's like, no, stop the fighting, stop the chaos, because it's moving us to our present, and it's being a student of our inspiration, of our imagination. I'm going to link in the description box below a YouTube video that is this book that was recommended to me by a friend. And he sent me the link to the YouTube so I could listen to it and clean and do all my things and still take it in. And it's just absolutely amazing, the power of the imagination. And I know we hear about manifestation, and we hear about, everything, every way the mind is so powerful. I don't know why this book just struck such a chord with me. So I really want to share it. So check it out in the description box. But there's this sense here of I'm a student of what my imagination can bring, of what my passion, my inspiration can bring me, of what inspires me. And as we move towards the future, we go from being that student, from being that person who's taking things in. There's also, for some of us, a child around us. Okay, fire sign energy, or just like a little spitfire. Like, this person also thinks this kid, oh my gosh, so cute. Like, just mischief in their eyes. And they think they're so silly. They think they're so funny. They crack themselves up. So that child that is around you, that child is really inspiring you to see the world in a different way. Okay? And it's also, it's funny because I hear that laughing again, and that's like spirit saying, oh no, I put that kid there to test you, to grow you, to evolve you. And so you think that kid is learning a lot from you, and that's definitely true. They are, but you're also learning a heck of a lot from them, which is absolutely beautiful. And you guys have such a great relationship. For those of you who are sitting there and saying, Dane, what kid are you talking about? Like, there's not one here. There is also a sense of like, I am being a student of what I passionately want. Or there's just a young energy around you of, and it doesn't have to be a young person. They just have this young energy to them, like a new soul. Yeah, what is it? By I forget her last name. I'm a new soul. I'm a new soul. Something in this brave world. I forget, but Google it if you want to. And it's like I'm opening up to everything, and so I'm just seeing that as being very prevalent to you, where it's like I'm this new soul in this new world, and it's like, I need to learn, I need to see, and they're helping you to learn and see things in a very different light, in a very different way, Taurus. It brings us to the King of Wands. We go from being this learner, from being this person who begins to imagine, to this person who is like an old hand at it, who is so good at being able to manifest our life that we can kind of turn our back to the lion and not be afraid. There is also this sense of, there's a sense of beauty around us, a sense of charisma that we really should be utilizing during this time. All right, this is in our future as we step into what we want. There's a charm to us that people are going to say, well, you really are charming, or like, I might not agree with you, but I like you, type of thing going on here. It's going to be an interesting energy because somebody is going to say, like, I don't agree with you, but I like who you are. And I'm curious. So they're going to kind of test you, push you in a different direction. There is also the sense here of like, I'm seeing more of what I want and I'm stepping into that role more, which is going to be a little bit overwhelming because we're having to turn our backs on a lot of what we fear. I'm just seeing that turning our back on the lion is being really intense. And as we're turning our back on, what we were feeling, what we are afraid of, there is tremendous strength in the way that we're moving forward, in the illumination that is coming. There is also a sense of a light in the dark, but that we have to look at that darkness. It's like, this has gotten a lot more serious, where we have to look at what has been kind of like caving in on us. And as things are illuminated, it's, okay, where do I need to be? Like, how do I need to move forward? What do I need for me? And that becomes a very big change. that becomes a very big change. And it's like, okay, now I can bring this passion and I can really start to transform my life, myself, what I want and what the bigger picture is. Now, our subconscious tarot energy for this time is the Page of Swords. And we have that King of Swords, now Page of Swords energy. We have that page, King energy in our present and in our future. So we are being a student of what we want. And we also have that Knight of Swords energy in our hopes and our fears, that we hope that we can move forward. We fear that we're going to move forward. And in our strength, it is the strength of our voice. Subconsciously, we're still learning. We're asking questions. We're diving deeper. We don't feel as assured as people see us. So people are going to say to us, Taurus, like, oh, well, you always have the right answer. Or, of course, you always know what to say. And we're going to think, where are you getting this from? Like, who are you looking at? Because it's not me. Because we see ourselves as a student. And we have to embrace the questions. We have to embrace the questions in our inner selves. This is why journaling can be something that's amazing for us, or just like thinking and contemplating can also be something, being out in the garden and letting our minds wander, because we need the questions to come forward. And as the questions come forward, we start to see the answers in a very different light, in a very, very different way. It brings us then to our subconscious, and this is our past. It's the Nine of Swords. Now we have the Nine of Swords right here. And the Nine of Swords here is our near future, which is the worry, doubt, and fear. This is also something that is part of our past. We are very good at worrying. We might even joke, like I have my doctorate in worry because we're just so good at it. We have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge that our way of dealing with the situation is to overthink it, overanalyze it, really put ourselves in the middle of everything. So an acknowledgement of that, and then saying, okay, one of the things I'm going to do is imagine that I'm not worried. I'm going to imagine like the frown lines or the worry lines, lessening, maybe even going away and just being replaced by joy. My shoulders are light. My heart is free, and I get to be free. So looking at the worry that we have and knowing that, yeah, we're really good at it. Some of us, actually a lot of us, have inherited it. We'll have a parent who is a really, really good worrier, or whomever raised us that was really good at worrying. And now we're like, no, I don't want this in my life anymore. This isn't what defines me. It then moves us to our subconscious present. And this is the Hierophant. This is us. This is the essence of us. We are represented by the Hierophant in the major arcana, meaning that we are showing up for us. And we have to acknowledge that. Subconsciously, we are connecting with ourselves in a way that might seem overwhelming, that might seem like foolish at times, like, oh no, I can't possibly ask for that or move forward like that, or be that bold or be that brave. Spirit's saying, yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. Let's do it now. Our subconscious future energy is the Ten of Pentacles. Prosperity, happiness, success that is shared, that is, part of a community, being part of something greater. Subconsciously, that's what we want in our future. That's what we want for ourselves. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of, Queen of Pentacles. We need to be mindful of really kind of falling into the wrong energy vibrational kind of field, meaning that we're going to try and change ourselves, or we're going to see that we've changed into maybe even somebody that we don't really like, or surrounding ourselves by people that we don't really like. And it's like, this energy isn't right for me. And we're going to see that it's like, this isn't right for me. I need that happiness back. It brings us then to our subconscious chakra energy, which is the sacral chakra of inspiration. This is a new dawn, a new day, a new brilliance is coming forward. Let us be inspired. Okay. All right, Taurus. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Taurus. And may blessings always be with you.